Hello wonderful people, it's Wild here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build this cottagecore style tower house. Complete with turrets and a balcony walkway, this is a fantastic build which can be customized by switching out the roofing blocks to create a medieval look or a fairy look. The materials you'll need for this build are on your screen now. Keep in mind that if you don't have access to dark prismarine, you can substitute this block with any dark cyan coloured block. Here's the outline for today's build. There's a squared off circle to the left for the tower, and then a rectangle for the building adjacent to the tower. We'll be building straight over the top of these blocks, so you can put in an outline like this one to help you place your build. We're going to start off facing from the front of the build, adding in some stripped spruce log pillars, which are 7 high, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all around the tower. So these are going either side of the diagonal blocks on each of the corners, like this. And you'll notice that there is a 3-block gap on each side between the 2 spruce posts. Once we have these in, we can put some on this section of the build. These are 5 high, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and are spaced 3 apart. Here's how it looks from above and from the front. Now we can begin filling in the walls, starting with this side where the door's going. For the walls, we'll be using stone brick, and above the windows and the door, we'll be placing in a dark prismarine block. Then we'll just fill up to the height of these posts. On this left side and the back, we're going to have a tall window. And I'll fill this in with some glass panes. And I'll build up to one below the top, so I have room for a dark prismarine, and then create the frame of the window with stone brick. On this interior side, we just need to leave room for a door. You can put in a dark prismarine block above this door if you'd like, but since it's from the interior and won't be seen, you don't need to put one in there. Now for these corner sections, we're going to build up 3 high, have a 2 high window with white stained glass, and then 2 more stone brick on top. Now for the walls on this other section of the house. For these 4 sections, we'll be having a 2 high window with a dark prismarine on top, and then creating the window frame with the stone brick. And then for this end wall here, we're going to be having a 3 high window with the dark prismarine, and you'll see that this goes right up to the height of the posts here. While we're working on this section of the build, we can add in the gable, so build 3 across the top and then an additional 2 high, and we'll also put in our tower, or the smaller part of the tower. So place a stone brick above this window here, then we'll add a window with dark prismarine at the bottom, and then 4 high with some white stained glass for the window itself, a dark prismarine on top, and now we need to create the other sides of the tower. I'm going to come diagonally back 1 and up like this, and build up to the same height. And you can check that this is right, it should be 6 blocks tall. I'll do the same thing on the other side, leaving a gap in the center. And then at the back, I'll build down from the top 4 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can check that that lines up with the missing block above this gable. Before we get started on the second story of the large tower, we need to fill in the floor and the roof. I'm going to be using some stripped oak logs here, and I'm placing these going in a striped pattern like this. This gives the illusion of some wide floorboards, which works really well, and it's important that you keep each of these logs going the same direction. I'll flow this flooring through into the tower, and this is the same flooring I'm going to be using for the other stories. You can see I've also placed a log going into the doorway. Now we can prepare for the next story to go on, and to do this we're going to start by placing some stone bricks here. This will allow us to have a ladder when we do our interior. And then I'm going to come around in a circle with some stone bricks like this, making sure they rotate round the corners. Here's how that will look looking up from the interior of the build. Now I'll come into this rectangular section of the build, and I'm going to be adding a beam going across between these two posts here. Then I'll place upside down stairs either side like this, and this is going to give a nice clean finish look to the interior. Once the stairs are in, I'll connect them with some spruce slabs. And we can see how that looks from the inside. For the walls of the second story of the large tower, we're going to start by building 9 high with some stripped spruce logs. And these are going in each of the corners you can see on this smaller circle. Now we can begin filling in our walls. The walls are going to be sitting one forward, and that will create the circular shape as we create the tower. I'll first create a section for the door. Now this needs to be 3 high, as we will be placing a floor block in at this level. Then I'll place a dark prismarine above the door, leave a 2-block gap, and create a 2 high window with some dark prismarine above it. For the windows on this story, we'll be using all white stained glass panes. Now for this wall. First, build up 3 high, 1, 2, 3, with some stone brick. Next we'll put in a window with a dark prismarine at the bottom, and then 3 high with the glass. And then fill in the rest of the wall. There should be 2 stone bricks above the top of your window. Now for the other 2 walls, begin by building 2 high with stone brick, then add in a dark prismarine, and then build up your window so you have 2 blocks remaining of stone brick above like this. So you should have 4 high windows on the remaining 2 walls. You can see from above how building the walls like this has created a nice circular shape. Now that the main walls are in, we can start adding in the balcony on the tower. So we'll begin with some spruce planks, placing them in this doorway here, and then build out 2 in the center of each side. Now I'll be leaving out this side here, as we'll have to make some adjustments as the roof will run into the balcony. Once you've got these placed in, come either side and build across 3. And we're doing this all the way around. Then you can fill in these corner sections here. Now for the side where we've got our rectangular section of the house, place a stone brick in the center and then build 3 to either side. Next, grab out some oak logs, strip spruce logs, spruce stairs, slabs, fences and fence gates, as we're going to be adding the decorative section to this balcony. You want to come above where we've got each of these strip spruce posts and build facing out with a strip spruce log. Make sure these are facing the direction of each wall. Then we'll switch to some spruce stairs, and you want to place them facing forward in these gaps. Then rotate them to either side and place one forward in the center. That way you can see it curves in this pattern like this. When you come round to this side, just leave this stair free. We're also going to be placing stairs on each of the corners and a slab in the center. Now switch to some oak logs and place these on top of each of your strip spruce logs. Then place a spruce slab on top of these. And now we'll create some railing. I'm just using some fences to connect the corners. And then on the front facing sides, I'll also add in a spruce fence gate for a little bit of extra detail. You can see this just adds some more design to the banister. When you come round to this side where the roof will be joining, just place a fence either side of these logs like this. Now you can get working on the roof, and for the roof we'll be using oxidized cut copper. We'll begin with some stairs and place these so they sit above the dark prismarine on this rectangular section, and make sure that they extend one out over the edge of the build. I'm going 2 layers up with the stairs here, and I'll do this on either side. Next, I'll have a layer of oxidized cut copper blocks, and where you've got the tower, just run into it and then come back out the other side. Then place some stairs on top of these. We have another layer of the blocks. And then we want to create a little swoosh at either end. So at the one connecting to the tower, place a block and a slab. And then on this side, build 3 across with some oxidized cut copper blocks, and then place a stair on the end. Here's how that should look. I'll also be coming underneath the gable with some more stairs, just to smooth off the look. Now we want to mirror this kind of roof shape at the front of the build over the top of the door. So I've got some spruce fences, and I'm going to line myself up with these pillars here and come one forward and build 3 high. Then I'll connect them with some spruce fence gates. Now I'll use some stairs and blocks to create a swoosh, making sure I place some stairs underneath for a clean look. I'll place a block and a stair here, and then 2 blocks on top. Now we'll work on the tower roofs, starting with this smaller one here. Begin by building a square which extends over the corners of the tower, and then place stairs in the center block of each side, with some slabs either side of this. Now we'll create the point, finishing with 2 blocks for the top. Now the roof for this larger tower can be a little tricky to create, so just take your time. We'll be working in stages which will make it easier to build, and I'm beginning by placing some strip spruce logs coming out from each of these posts. Then place some oxidized cut copper in each of the corners. To round off the shape, come forward and build 3 on each of the sides. And keep in mind that since this is circular, it's going to be symmetrical in both directions, so you can always check that you're building it correctly, as your sides should all look the same. Once you've got a circle in like this, grab some cut copper stairs and build either side of these 3 blocks here. Then switch to some slabs and build 3 across the front, and then 1 on either side of these stairs to join the corner. Here's how it looks from the front and from above. For the next layer, begin by placing a stair in the center of each side, and then facing towards each other on the corners. Then we'll fill in the gaps with some blocks. Oh, I nearly missed this corner. And I'll build 1 above like this. Now you can place in a block here, or you can leave this space open. It would be a great place to put some barrels for storage. Fill in the corners with some blocks. And place a stair either side like this. You can see as we're creating this roof that the angle of the roof is getting steeper and steeper towards the point. For the next layer, we'll place a stair on top of each of these blocks and fill in the corners with 2 more blocks. A stair is going to go on top of each of these, facing towards each other. And a block in between. Once again, a stair on top of this block. And then we're getting really close to the top of the roof here. We're going to fill in each of these corners and build over the top to create kind of like a U-shaped arch. 1 more on each of these sides with a stair. And finally, to finish off the roof, build up 2 high with some blocks and top it off with a slab. Here's how the roof should look. Now that the construction of the tower is complete, we can add in our floors. Once again, I'm using the stripped oak logs, and I'm placing it in at this level here. Make sure it is lining up with the floor for the balcony. I'll then break a gap in this section for our ladder, and I'll come down to the bottom and turn around. Then looking up, I can place in some trapdoors. And this is what I'll put my ladder on. Now if you'd like your ladder at a different location in the build, you can just place this stone brick block here on one of the other faces. I'll also continue this ladder right up to the top of the tower and place in a floor for the attic. Now it's time to get adding some decorative details. Begin your detailed decorating on this tower here, starting with a slab above and below the window and some oak trapdoors. And some spruce fences in each of the corners. This is a great way to achieve this post look like we have on the larger tower on a smaller scale. I'm also going to hang a lantern in front of each of these stone bricks. Continuing with the lanterns, we'll place in some spruce fences underneath each of these spruce logs. And then hang some lanterns, one on a chain like this and one straight off of the fence. I'm also going to hang some lanterns off of these logs here and place in some fences underneath these 2 spruce planks. We'll begin the window decorations on the rectangular part of the build here. We'll create an arch over the top of each window with 2 stairs and a slab, and then some slabs along the bottom, and oak trapdoors as window shutters. Skip this window here as it'll have a different decoration. And then you can continue on the back. Once the window decorations are in, you can add in some spruce fences. And I won't be putting one here as we'll be having a window decoration going on this corner window. For this end window, we're going to create a window frame with some stairs, slabs, and fences. Continuing the theme of the little arch over the top. We'll also place a lantern on top of the window frame. To tie the build together, we'll be using this same decoration on the tall windows on the lower level of the tower. However, here I'll be placing a spruce fence above the window. For the remaining windows, create a simple design like this. And just leave out the fence that would have gone there. I also want to create a door decoration here with 2 fences and a small arch. And then a lantern above. And I'm using spruce doors for this build. For the door decoration on the second story, I'll be creating the same sort of thing but leaving out the fences. That way we have enough room to be able to walk around the balcony. And for the door here, you can place it on the outside if you'd like, but I'm going to be placing mine from the inside because this adds a little bit of depth to the door. We'll be creating the same window decoration as we did on the rectangular section on this window here, which will tie the build together. And then for the remaining windows, I'll begin by placing in some oak trapdoors along the bottom, and then creating an archway out of some oak stairs, including placing an upside down stair in the center like this. I want to create the same archway over the top of this shorter window. And for the trapdoors, I'll be placing these at the level below so it runs through the roof here. Now we're almost there with the construction of this build, but there's a few more details to add to really finish it off and elevate the look. So here we go. You can see I've added some lush greenery and pot plants and decorations all around the build here. I've draped some leaves over the roof, and for this I've used azalea and flowering azalea as this adds a nice pop of colour. I've also kept the colour scheme with my flowers and my pot plants to a simple white and light pink, which really ties the build together. Decorations like this, as well as including things like streams and waterways and seating areas, really brings a build to life. So if you'd like some more ideas on how to decorate a build like this, check out my tutorial in the description down below for 22 cottagecore style decorations. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please consider subscribing if you did, and check out my Patreon to support me more. See you in another video!